New York, another rally will be held today in support of the over 8,000 union workers who are in the 24th day of being locked out of their jobs by utility giant Con Edison. The lockout began on July 1st when the collective bargaining agreement between Con Edison and the union representing the workers, Utility Workers Local 1-2, expired. Because the union refused Con Edison's demands to provide 7 days' notice before going on strike, the company told its rank-and-file employees to stop showing up for work. In a statement defending the move, Con Edison said, "We owe it to you, our customers, to prepare for any work stoppage. If workers could walk off the job without warning, we would risk disruption to the system and to the reliable service we provide you," adding, "We need to balance the demands of the union leadership with the needs of our customers." Con Edison also wants the union to accept concessions to members' health, benefits, and retirement plans. More than 3 weeks in, and with no end to the lockout in sight, the union continues to reject Con Edison's demands. Many locked-out workers have expressed their appreciation for the widespread support they have received.
It means a lot to us to support us because we're fighting for everybody. If we fold, everybody goes, and we're not going to let that happen. They can't destroy the unions after 85 years of fighting for our rights and for protection and for safety. No, this is ridiculous. My grandfather never had a pension. He worked till the day he died, and this is wrong. So we're not going to let it go back 100 years.
62-year-old Isabel Birkeland has worked for Con Edison for the past 35 years and says it's been difficult not collecting a paycheck this month.
It's very tough. It was even more tough not to have medical coverage and not to have your pharmaceuticals and everything else cut off. No prescriptions, no medicine. I had to cancel a doctor's appointment and everything else. That's not right, especially with people with children. And there's a lot of people that have medical problems that work for this company.
After public outrage, Con Edison restored medical benefits 2 weeks into the lockout. Con Edison has been criticized for using its 5,000 managers to replace its normal workforce. In a statement, Con Edison responded that the company continues to honor its commitment to our customers by providing reliable electric, gas, and steam service. We will not take any action that jeopardizes that service. Here are some of the voices of the thousands of Con Ed workers and their supporters that have rallied during the lockout.
We're in the New York metropolitan area. We are the absolute center of organized labor in this country, and perhaps even the world. Everybody's watching us. All the trades are watching us. If we do not stand strong, we will become the blueprint that brings out many unions in this country. We can't let that happen. We can't become a footnote on some legal journal that says how to bust a union without appearance of impropriety. That's not going to happen here. So we're going to stand firm, and we're going to win a fair contract. We're not asking for anything more.
Con Edison's attack on working people is atrocious. There is such inequity in how they are trying to enforce a contract on this group of people, especially attacking their pension. What is supposed to happen to working people? We're supposed to be in poverty when we're unable to work in our senior years? And then what happens? We're supposed to go on welfare or worse? Why is it that Con Ed cannot provide a fair working wage along with a dignified retirement, a pension, a simple pension? I am in total support of these workers. I am a New York State taxpayer. I'm also a Con Ed customer. Totally outraged. I will not be paying my bill until this is over.
Well, it's a pretty egregious example of the way our economic system is working when the CEO of Con Edison earns 160 times more than the average union worker, and when the upper level management just received 20% pay increases as workers' benefits are being taken away and as the bargaining process was just completely annihilated. This is symptomatic of where we're at right now, and we're here to show support.
Labor activist and journalist Mark Brenner says the Con Ed lockout is a central struggle for the national labor movement, and how it is resolved will have national ramifications.
It's because this is just the latest example, and in some sense right now the most prominent example we've got in the country of how companies that are doing very well financially, that have been given every advantage possible by a government that's all too willing to try to line, CEO and top executive pockets. And they've, so brazenly come after their workforce. And they're basically saying, yeah, we know we're doing fine, but we're going to come after you and come after your benefits nonetheless. This is just the latest example of attacks on health care, on pensions that are happening to workers, union and non, and that I think is a trend that we're not going to that we're going to see no sign of stopping if we don't actually win some of these fights that we're in. I mean, I think for union activists, I think that Con Edison is really important because it's an extension of this trend of using lockouts to try to break the back of unions. I mean, we've seen it in the Midwest with the American Crystal Sugar Company. We've seen it in Metropolis, Illinois, with nuclear power plant workers there who were locked out for over a year.
Many union members, including locked-out Con Ed shop steward Gary Maglieri, say they have been disappointed that New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, a Democrat who received widespread union support during his election campaign, has not done more to support the union.
Who needs a Republican when you got Cuomo in office? He is not for labor. He's not for the unions. And I think that when his time comes around, that the voters should think about that, and I certainly will. And for a man that has his sights on the White House, he's making a very, very poor mistake right here.
Mark Brenner says many union members he's spoken to share Maglieri's frustration, especially regarding Democrats in office like President Obama.
I think that the top union leadership in this country seems still committed to, getting Barack Obama reelected as president and winning as many, critical state and local races as they can, and then trying to figure out a way to move their agenda. They've kind of given up on the idea that there's a way to move Obama. But, for example, I was talking with a set of rank-and-file steelworkers in Pennsylvania the other day who were complaining about the fact that their union's about to go all out to get Barack Obama elected, and what is he doing? He's pushing as hard as he can for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is the latest trade deal that the Obama administration's been, kind of hatched, and it's going to be worse than NAFTA in terms of their jobs. And so, on the one hand, they're putting so much energy and time into getting this guy elected, and on the other hand, he's going to destroy their future. And their union doesn't seem to see the contradiction in that. And so I think that this restiveness in the ranks is probably stronger on trying to find politicians who are going to actually stand up for their issues than I've ever seen. But I think that we still face this fundamental quandary that it's absolutely true that whatever Obama's going to do, things would be worse under a Romney administration, except we would kind of be a little bit clearer about who our enemy is, politically speaking.
Union members and supporters have vowed to continue the lockout until Con Edison agrees to extend the current contract without concessions to benefits and without the union being required to give 7 days' notice prior to a strike. Reporting for The Real News, this is Jessel Noor in New York.